Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're diving into a really fascinating piece of writing today that takes a completely everyday situation and uses it to reveal some incredibly profound philosophical truths. It all started with a simple interaction. As the author notes, last week, a friend who practices Buddhism gave me some toast. Section 1. The Gift of Toast. Now, although we aren't close friends, I was still grateful. But when taking the toast, I hesitated for a moment. I thought to myself, should I tell her the truth? We've all been there, right? You receive something, but you have some uncomfortable information about it. Do you speak up, or do you just smile and say thank you? What tipped the scales was remembering a teaching from my master. When you think of any good deed, just do it. I genuinely believed that sharing some health information was a good deed, an act of care. So I decided to act on that immediate intention rather than holding back. So I told her, "Thank you, but there is some news I hope to share with you in return. Did you know the US has removed toast from its dietary guidelines because it is not considered a healthy food? Also, you mentioned you like soft bread, but as far as I know, the softer it is, the higher the oil content, which is bad for your body." Imagine being on the receiving end of that right after handing someone a gift. Hearing this, she was very surprised and found it hard to believe. She said she often eats this kind of toast for breakfast and didn't know the softness of toast was related to oil. It kind of completely shattered her perception of her daily morning routine. Section 2. An Uncomfortable Truth. To soften the blow and ease that slightly awkward social tension, I offered a graceful out. I told her, "My opinion is purely for your reference. There's some reports that say this. You can just keep it in mind." Now, here is the real irony of how the evening unfolded. After she left, I sent her the related health reports via line to show my care, and the toast she gave me, I ate it anyway. You just have to love how realistic this is. You sent the medical reports to prove your point, but you still sit down and eat the very thing you just criticized. Why do we do this? Well, I rationalized it perfectly to myself. I thought occasionally eating such things shouldn't be a big deal. Refusing it would be unreasonable, and throwing it away would seem wasteful. In the end, maintaining social harmony and avoiding waste won out over strict adherence to the dietary advice. Section 3. Defining ego attachment. This whole social dance sparked a much deeper reflection. It brought to mind a core Buddhist concept, ego attachment. Ego attachment is fundamentally about clinging to one's own thoughts, desires, and subjective views of the world. It's when our personal preferences override objective reality. Section 4. Justifying our habits. Let's see how this abstract concept applies to our daily lives. Take sugary drinks, ham, and bacon. Medical reports repeatedly warn people to eat less of these things, but many people still eat them. When you ask why, the answers are always, it's convenient, it's a habit, the daily amount is just a little bit, or they've eaten it for years and everything is fine. But read between the lines of those excuses. Their statements all indicate, medical reports are just for reference. I have my own thoughts. We literally push hard data aside because we value our own internal narrative more. Actually, saying I have my own thoughts is the very definition of ego attachment. Furthermore, if a person finds excuses for their behavior simply because they like doing it or want to do it, that is an even deeper ego attachment. We aren't just ignoring facts, we are actively constructing defensive walls around our desires. Let's look at a specific manifestation of this. People will say, "Didn't certain reports say you have to eat a large amount for it to be harmful? So a little bit every day won't hurt." This is a classic move. We selectively interpret the warnings to give ourselves permission to keep doing exactly what we want to do. Now, what's really interesting is that this isn't just about food. It applies to all aspects of life. Someone might love a person who is clearly terrible, so much so that even outsiders shake their heads, but they themselves endure it gladly. This is also ego attachment. We see what we want to see, no matter how loudly the outside world tries to tell us otherwise. Section 5. The root of ignorance. If ego attachment causes us to ignore facts, where does it stem from? It comes from our ignorance. What is ignorance? It is failing to see the truth of the facts clearly. It's an active blindness to the reality of how things truly are. To make this super relatable, think about TV dramas. We often hear lines like, "My brain was broken and I was blind back then. That's why I got together with you." That broken brain and blind eyes refer exactly to ignorance. It's that moment in hindsight when you realize you were completely incapable of seeing the truth. The crucial point is the mechanism behind this blindness. When a person's self-thoughts are stronger, they only see themselves and fail to see the truth. The self becomes a giant filter. If the truth doesn't align with what the self wants, the self simply blocks it out. So, after this incredible journey from a slice of toast to the depths of human ignorance, we are left with a final, vital question to ponder. What is true Buddhist practice? The answer is beautifully simple. It is recognizing the truth and practicing Buddhism with right faith rather than superstition. That is all. It's about stripping away those layers of excuses and ego attachment and finally having the courage to look at reality clearly. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive as much as I did. Our insights today come from Dr. Ai-Hung Chen. He holds a PhD in Chinese literature from National Chengchi University, and his research fields include Chinese philosophy, classics, Taoism, meditation, Buddhism, and literary analysis. Before you go, I want to leave you with this. What uncomfortable truth in your own life are you currently using ego attachment to ignore? If this explainer helped you see things a little more clearly today, please share, subscribe, and like. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.